Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. Premadama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he traveled to the holy places of pilgrimage in South India with the clever, underlying, compassionate intention of delivering the fallen souls. Appearing as a beautiful young renunciate, he distributed the sweet transcendental names of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
As he strolled down the different pathways, entered the temples, and visited people in their homes. During his sacred pilgrimage, sometimes the Lord would be carried away by some indescribable, ineffable divine exhilaration, and he would also sing Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, and he would dance gracefully with the most charming gestures and rhythms. Regardless of any time, place, circumstance, or personal qualification, he magnanimously delivered all those people of South India who came in contact with him by inspiring them to chant Krishna's holy names with pure devotion. I sing with joy the unending glories of my golden Lord, Lord Gauranga Sundar, the beautiful divine abode of pure love of Krishna. Krishna, 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 Nama Kirtanam, Rama Rama Ganya Ramya Divya Chandanartanam, Yatra Tatta Krishna Nama Dana Lokanishtaram, Prema Dama Deva Mevi Novi Gaura Sundaram, Prema Dama Deva Meva Novi Gaura Sundaram,
Prema Dama Deva Meva Novi Gaura Sundaram.
So wherever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, particularly when he toured in South India, he used to engage everyone in Krishna Nam. And when moving from place to place, he would sometimes encounter even animals in the great forests of South India. And even these animals, the Lord would engage in the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Even tigers would dance and chant the holy name of Krishna. Even elephants and all other animals of the forest, they would chant the holy name of Krishna, being inspired by the Supreme Personality of God. So, Srila Prabhupada used to say, when telling like that, he would laugh, he would chuckle, and he'd say, but we don't have such a potency that we can engage tiger and elephant and all animals, and we can invoke them to chant the holy name of Krishna. So our duty is amongst the human species, primarily. We should try to engage everyone in the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. So Mahaprabhu, his mercy spread to every nook and corner of this world, and even the plants. When he traveled in South India, he sometimes delivered palm trees. You know, this palm fruit, palm blue fruit. In Tamil Nadu, there were, how many? I think 6 or 9. There were 9 trees in a row. And through these trees, Lord Ramachandra shot his arrow to kill Ravana. And it pierced through all these trees. Then it went to kill Ravana. So these trees remained there for such a long time. And when Mahaprabhu was coming on the way, he came to that place where those trees were standing. And one by one, he embraced those trees. Those trees, they were directly there in Ram Lila. Those trees directly had darshan of Lord Ramachandra. So he embraced those trees. One by one, as he embraced the trees, they disappeared. They just disappeared. As he embraced each tree, it just disappeared. He sent those trees back to home, back to God. So as the Lord traveled, he performed many miracles in all species of life. And everyone who came in contact with him was irresistibly drawn to chant the holy name of Krishna. It was at that time unavoidable. No one could resist him. So much so was the Lord's potency that one day before, or actually later on in Jagannath Puri, he happened to be falling down in ecstatic trance of love of Krishna, and he fell in the ocean. And he floated some distance in the ocean, and one fisherman caught Lord Chaitanya in a net. At first the fisherman thought he had caught a big fish, and he was fishing in the night with a lantern and a boat. So as he pulled in his net, he saw there's one body in the net. And so he tried to get that body out of the net, out of his fishing net, and he touched it. And as soon as he touched it, that fisherman began to shout, Krishna, Krishna, Rama, Rama, Krishna, Krishna. So that fisherman thought, oh, I've touched a dead body, and a ghost has now got me. So quickly he got his boat to the shore, and he was running up and down the beach, chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna. At that time, Mahaprabhu's associates, they were searching for him. He had somehow disappeared from within his room. In the night, he used to enter his room, and that room was sealed tight, and there was only one way in and one way out. There was a very strong door there, and the Lord would sit in his room, and outside that door, Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, and sometimes Govinda, they would take rest there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would spend whole night chanting. And if ever the sound of Krishna Nam stopped coming from the room, they would just peek into the room to see if everything is all right. Because sometimes when chanting the name of Krishna, Mahaprabhu would feel such great separation from the Lord that he would begin to rub his head on the wall. You have seen when people, they feel some sadness, they'll rub their head like this, what to do, what to do. Some rubbing will come. So he felt such separation from Krishna, he would begin to rub his head on the stone. And this may cause some damage, some bleeding or something. So if ever the name stopped, they would look to see, did he rest, or is he in any deep mood and maybe injuring himself? So one such time, the name stopped, they looked into the room, no one was there. There was no way out of the room. The walls were 24-inch solid stone. Simply Mahaprabhu vanished through the walls, and he began to roam around the Jagannath Puri temple, and that is when he came to the ocean. And he saw the ocean in the moonlight, and he thought it is the Yamuna River, so he jumped in. And thinking he is now in the Yamuna, he became unconscious and floated away and caught by that fisherman. So the devotees were out and about, and they were looking everywhere and anywhere for the Lord, and they were not having much luck. And late, the night was going late, 3:30, almost 4 in the morning, and they could not find him. Suddenly they saw this fisherman. He's running down the beach, chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna. So Swarup Damodar saw this man, and he's manifesting spontaneous attraction to the holy name of Krishna. And he knows he's a fisherman. He's coming from so many unqualified backgrounds. So how he will show us this intense chanting of the holy name of Krishna, he must have come in contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when they inquired from that man, have you seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He said, no, but I found one dead body, and a ghost has got me. And it's a Hari ghost. Because when this ghost gets to you, you will chant Hari, Hari, Krishna, Krishna, Hari ghost. The devotees told, no. No ghost can stand where Krishna Nam is present. So where's this body you saw? Tell us, show us where this body is. So he took him to the place, and there Mahaprabhu was lying in the net, in the fisherman's net on the beach. Then the devotees began the Sankirtan, and the sound of the Sankirtan entered the Lord's ears, and then he got back his external consciousness, and then he began to stand and dance and chant with his devotees. So, always in Chaitanya Lila we find the holy name of Krishna. It is a center point, actually, in the Lila of Mahaprabhu. Yet there are some foolish persons, they suggest that we should not chant the Mahamantra. Or they suggest, if in chanting the Mahamantra, we should restrict that in some way. But as regards certain topics, certainly Mahaprabhu was very restrictive. As regards the higher topics of Krishna's divine Leelas, Rasa Leelas, and other pastimes, he was very restrictive and very confidential in regard to where and with whom and how such things would, if ever, be disclosed. Not openly. But as regards the holy name of Krishna, we find he gives no restriction whatsoever. In the society, the fisherman who kills fish to live, he's considered to be in the lower status of the society, always unclean. He lives by the killing process and all that. So, even the fishermen, everyone, we do not find at any time that Mahaprabhu restricted the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. If he met a fisherman, he told them, Krishna Nam Bolo. Chant Krishna name, Krishna Nam, the holy name of Krishna. Bolo Hari Hari, Bolo Hari Hari. And if he met a Brahmin, who is the top man in society, he told the same thing. Krishna Nam Bolo. Chant Krishna Krishna. Now who is higher than a Brahmin in society? A sannyasi. A sannyasi is the guru of the Brahmin. And for those persons also, he told the same thing. Do Nam Sankirtanam. Chant the holy name of Krishna. And who are such personalities? Like Prakasananda Saraswati, Prabodhananda Saraswati. Many sannyasis came in the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who were from various sampradayas, even Mayavadi Sampradaya, even Madhva Sampradaya, even Ramanuja Sampradaya. And he instructed all in the same manner. Chant the holy name of Krishna. So from the highest to the lowest, and lower than the fisherman is the chandal or the dog eater, who lives by eating flesh of dog. It is told to him also, please chant the holy name of Krishna. So for everyone and anyone, in any age, in any status in society, Mahaprabhu's benediction was, please chant the holy name of Krishna. So, as he would go around here and there on his pilgrimage, he would sing one mantra. He would keep under his voice, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, Kalo nasteva, 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 gatiranyata. All the devotees should learn this verse. Very, very simple. And sometimes while chanting and finishing your japa one round or such, you will tell this verse, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, Kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva. You'll say this verse. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. Please chant, please chant, please chant the holy name of Krishna. Or not please chant, it is order, you must chant. Or not request, it is order, you must chant. Kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva. Why? Because in this age, this is age of Kali, there is no other process by which you can approach the ultimate goal of life. There is not a second alternative. There is no other process. In the previous age, there was Satya Yuga, there was Treta Yuga, there was Dwapara Yuga, now there is Kali Yuga. In each age, there is some recommended yajna, some recommended sacrifice, some recommended path for self-realization. In the Satya Yuga, it was dhyana, meditation. Only by meditation, people used to achieve the supreme goal of life. The object of meditation is the lotus feet of Vishnu in those days, or the lotus feet of Krishna, depending on where you were, if you had such fortune to know of Krishna. But generally in this world, all knew of Vishnu, Bhagavan Narayan. So meditation was only upon him. And then in the Treta Yuga, there were great sacrifices. Great sacrifices were performed. And in the Dwapara Yuga, there was the worship of the form of the Lord, Sri Murti, the worship of the form of the Lord. And at the end of the Dwapara Yuga, the rishis and munis and all, they had worshipped the form of the Lord by mantra for the whole of Dwapara Yuga. Then at the end of Dwapara Yuga, to fulfill their most cherished desire, the Supreme Lord advented as Sri Krishna at the end of Dwapara Yuga in Vrindavan, and he shows, this is my Swayam Rupa, this is my original most form. But prior to that, they worshipped the form of the Lord. We say temple worship, but actually it means they worship the form of the Lord by mantra. But generally we say by temple worship. And then right at the end of Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga, these big temples began to manifest, and the deities and all appeared. But then it was given immediately at the beginning of Kali Yuga that there will be no other successful process other than the Nam Sankirtan. Everyone should engage in Nam Sankirtan. So long back in the Sati Yuga, when we were to sit and make the fire sacrifice, when everything that was ready, the head priest, he would just give a mantra over this wood, and the fire will come. Maharaj, can you give mantra for putting that? Or do you have one plastic mantra here for lighting that? Huh? Now we have some matches or something else for lighting that. Yet there are still people, they want to do this as the process. In this age, the yajna, the homa, the havan, this we say fire sacrifice, it is an accompanying ritual. In this ritual, the fire becomes the mouth of Vishnu. It becomes Vishnu. Before fire, which is Vishnu, Bhagavan, before Govardhan, which is directly Krishna himself, and before Guru, and before the Vaishnavas, the initiates, they accept their status in life. For those who are accepting the Harinam, so we began by saying that Mahaprabhu gave the Harinam to everyone. But he didn't give the Japa Mala to everyone. He gave the Nam to everyone, but not the Mala. He told everyone, you go on with Krishna Nam. So whether you're cooking, whether you're working, whether you're farming, whatever you're doing, you take Krishna Nam. For getting the Mala, we must become a disciple. Actually, it is not proper that we simply buy the Mala in the market and we'll chant on beads. Generally in the old days, when one wanted to begin chanting, he would just chant on his fingers if he wanted to do some counting. The Mala, getting the Mala, one must get the Mala from the Guru, and that is an Anga. That is one of the parts of being accepted as a disciple. And the Guru, he will first chant on that Mala, and he will give sanctity to that Mala, and he will put the holy name of Krishna there on that Mala. And we'll hold that Mala between this finger and this finger. We'll hold there the holy name of Krishna, and we will begin our chanting. Guided from above. Guided by higher authorities. So, in this way, then one will continue the process of chanting the holy name under guidance, under shelter. During that time, he'll learn many things regarding the holy name of Krishna and proper behavior of a Vaishnava, and so many things. What is the Krishna consciousness movement, or who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, so many things. Who is Radharani? All these things he'll become more acquainted with in that time. During that time, practically speaking, we see that one then crosses a line. He crosses an imaginary line where one makes a life commitment. Not just a life commitment, but an eternal life commitment. And that eternal life commitment manifests in the form of a desire. I want to enter into the company of the devotees so deeply. I want to enter there that I never come out. Ultimately, I want to enter the family of Krishna. I want to enter that place where devotion to Krishna is everything from sun up to sundown. I never want to come out from that place. So at that time, seeing that the disciple, he has now got some advancement, then the mantra diksha is given. Mantra diksha. In mantra diksha, it is called divya jnanam. The most divine knowledge becomes available to the disciple through the mantra itself, and by hearing about the mantra from the Guru, the Vaishnava, and the scriptures. Divya jnanam, divine knowledge. At that time, one is accepted as a family member of Krishna. And it is told in many places in the Vedas, in the Upanishads, in the writings of the Acharyas, that those who chant these mantras, these Diksha mantras, they will not come again in this material world of Maya, of illusion, of heartbreak and sorrow, of old age, birth, death, and disease. They will not come here in this world anymore. Rather, they will take their next life and they will have their next body in the Leelas of Krishna. And they will remain in the Leelas of Krishna. They will remain there eternally in full bliss, Sat-Chit Ananda existence. Full bliss, full knowledge, in eternal form. Sat-Chit Ananda and Vigraha. So, like that, the Diksha mantras are then offered to the disciple. And these Diksha mantras will help us to make further advancement in the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. So, generally those persons are called Dvijas. Or actually they are Dvijas, but generally they are called Brahmins. Who have these mantras, they'll be called Brahmins. But they are not the Brahmins by birth. Actually, you cannot be a Brahmin by birth. There is no such thing. Can you be a lawyer by birth? If your father is a lawyer, your grandfather was a lawyer, and your grandfather's grandfather was a lawyer in the court of the king in Mysore, and you are born here in his very nice house, you are a lawyer? No, you are called son of a lawyer. Son of a lawyer. That's called Dvij Bandhus, the son of the Brahmanas. They don't become a Brahmana unless they receive the mantra Diksha Samskara. And after receiving the mantra Diksha Samskara, they have to live up to the standards and the qualities of a Brahmin, which we find mentioned throughout the Vedas. Now there are many qualities of a Brahmin, and the first and foremost is Satyam. Satyam? No. Truthfulness. Truth, yes, Satyam. First quality is Satyam. So for a Brahmana who is mantra Diksha, he must remember, or she must remember this very important thing. Don't speak lies and always speak about Krishna. That is truth. Don't tell mortal lies about the world and always speak about Krishna. That is truth. Especially, always speak about Krishna. Speak something about Krishna. Krishna speaks through the mouth of the Brahmana. Krishna eats through the mouth of the Brahmana. But in Kali Yuga, the Brahmana's mouth, it is very unclean. Just like the Gomata. Stools, urine, body, so many things are pure in cow. But the mouth of the cow is never pure. It is always considered dirty. So, like that, the so-called Brahmins of Kali Yuga, they become like mouth of cow. Why? Because they are speaking nonsense. They are speaking politics. They are speaking only business. They are speaking so many things non-Krishna. Now is the time, morning time. This is the time for the Shastra. This is the time for the Japa. This is the time for the Puja. But what is going on in Mysore? In the homes of 1,000 Brahmins who live in Mysore, they are reading Mysore Star. They are reading Times of India. They are not reading Ramayana, Mahabharata, and they are not doing puja, and they are dunking. Instead, previously, they are dunking shaligram into ghee, and into honey, and into milk, and now they are dunking toast into tea. This has become the morning puja. No puja. And when meeting them, they'll pull some string from their neck and tell, I'm Brahman, I'm Brahman. But Brahman means Brahma. Brahma. Brahma means Krishna. So, what is Brahma? Oh, I don't know. They'll say, I don't know. What is Brahma? They have little or no idea what is Brahma. So that type of Brahman, we're not that type of Brahman. We're not that type of Dvija. Krishna says you will be Dvija not by birth but by karma. Not by guna. By guna. Not by janma. Not by janma, but guna karma. By your quality and the work that you do, you'll be a Brahmin. And Krishna is very much in favor of two things. Brahmins and cows. He's liking these things there. But the Brahmin without devotion to Krishna, even if he has all other qualities of truthfulness and studies Veda and does so many rituals and dressing and so many things, if he doesn't have the quality of devotion to Krishna, then he is not a Vaishnava. And Krishna doesn't have so much interest in him. So we are Vaishnava first, and we are Brahmana second. So do you follow me on that? So these are the things that are given. In Harinam, we are given a name, which is a das or dasi. And that is to help us always identify with the service of Krishna and his eternal associates. Then we are given 3 rounds on the beads on our neck. 3 rounds. And the 3 rounds, that symbolizes that we are under the care, under the shelter of Guru. Like this Sika. For the men there is Sika. That is so Guru can take and pull. Come. Back to home, back to Godhead. For catching. And we are given the mala for chanting the name. And for the Brahmins, for the men, we are given a thread to wear across the shoulder. We are given a thread. And this is a symbol. It is symbolic. There are 9 threads in this thread. The 9 threads, they're symbolic of the 9 processes of devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting. Hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna. The 9 processes, beginning with these 3. And these 9 threads also, they correspond to the 9 islands of Navadvip in the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Sri Mayapur, Navadvip Dham. And those islands are also corresponding to these processes of devotional service. So, like that, different sampradayas, they have their different symbols and so forth. All these symbols, tilak, Brahman's thread, 3 times neck beads, all these external things are simply to help us in some marginal way in this world to remember Krishna, to always remember the goal of life, to be engaged in Krishna's service. And then we will know who is the Brahmin. So once having this thread, it should be white color, not dark color, not black color. It should be kept clean and shining. Because after truthfulness, cleanliness is the most important quality of a Brahmin. How to be clean by your body, mind, intelligence. How to be clean in your heart also. Suchi. One must be clean. These are the 2 important qualities. Then, Brahman must have jnana. He must have knowledge. Maybe he will not be the greatest scholar, but he must have some scriptural knowledge. So particularly, in the beginning, we must do seva, 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 seva. So much seva we must do. But after we have mantra diksha, we become Brahmin. Then we have to study some Shastra more. Because that is the duty of the Brahmin in relation to Krishna. Krishna is the Shastra. Bhagavan is the Shastra. He is the Vedas. The Vedas emanate from him. But how the Vedas will enter anybody's ear, they have to be read, they have to be spoken. That is the duty, the primary duty of the Brahmin. He must speak the Veda. Means he must impart this knowledge to others. So in order to do that, he has to study something also. He has to study, he has to continue service, and he worships Krishna through these mantras. So, that much I wanted to say in regard to the Harinam and the mantra diksha. Go Premanandi.